Hey guys, it's Charlene. Today I'm going to show you how to make a clean and simple card using only one small stamp. It's a really easy process. Here's the stamp I'm going to be using from Altenew. And I'm going to start with creating my background. I've got a piece of watercolor distress paper and I am taping it down with some low-tack tape. I'm going to do an ombre wash on this background, really easy to do, and I'm using the new Distress watercolor pencils. I'm starting out here with salvaged patina and I'm just making sure to get a nice good coating of the coloring onto my paper. Next, I'm going to be using some tumbled glass, and at the bottom I'll be using some shaded lilac. Now you could use any colors you want. If you are a non-traditional Christmas color kind of person, you could use pinks and teals and fun stuff like that. You could use the traditional reds and greens here, whatever works well for you. I think this would look really pretty with some shades of red and pink as well. So once I get a nice coating of the colored pencils on there, I just have a large paintbrush. You could do this with a water brush. I actually just purchased these paintbrushes because I really wanted to have a large paintbrush for doing these kind of large wash backgrounds like this. So I'm just getting my paintbrush wet and going back and forth, and you'll find that some of these watercolor pencils are kind of deeper and color and a little bit harder to get to spread on the paper. So it might be worthwhile doing a test run of whatever colors you're wanting just so you can see how hard you should color them, how much of the pencil you should actually put down on the paper so you can get a more even kind of ombre look. So once that dried completely, I went ahead and peeled off the tape, and you can see I've got it back here in my mini MISTI, and I put some anti-static powder down, and then I have that beautiful snowflake stamp. Now the most important part of doing this kind of clean and simple card is to make sure that that first stamp you put down is dead center in the center of your card. Any other kind of pattern that you lay out is going to be made much easier by starting with your stamp in the center. So you can see I used some silver embossing powder, and then I went ahead and used my heat gun to melt that. I'm doing my second stamp and I'm doing it down in the bottom right hand corner, and then I'm going to repeat the process again with a third stamping in the top left hand corner. And an easy way to do that is to just flip your card panel around in your MISTI. You don't have to move the stamp to do the third snowflake. Once that's done, I'm going to do some selective coloring. Now I'm starting out here with the shaded lilac, and I'm using a water brush and I'm just touching it to the tip of the pencil. You can use the tip or the bottom of the pencil. I had a commenter suggest trying the bottom, so you could use either side, whatever works well for you, and just getting a nice burst of color. When you take it directly from the pencil, you're going to get a concentrated color. And if you're not super familiar with watercolor pencils, or you're interested in the Distress line of watercolor pencils that just came out, I did a whole video on these not that long ago, so I will link to that at the end of this video and you can check that out. Lots of fun ways to use them. So for the center, I'm coming in with the tumbled glass here, and then for that top right snowflake, it's going to be the salvaged patina. You could shake this up and do different colors over different parts of the wash background. I was keeping this card pretty simple in terms of the color palette and where I put the colors, but certainly you could mass produce a card like this for the holidays, and you could change each card up with different colors. That would be kind of fun. So once I have that down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp out my sentiment. I'm using the tiny little stamp that came with that snowflake, and it just says Happy Holidays. I've stamped it out, and again using silver embossing powder to keep the consistency throughout the card of that silver shine. Once I have it heat embossed, I can go ahead and trim it down, and now I can put my card together. This is going to be a very low profile card. It will go through the mail well. That's another great reason why this style of card is good for the holidays. when you're mailing out lots of cards. So I'm going to glue this down with some liquid adhesive, and I am going to go ahead and put an acrylic block over the top of this just because the watercolor paper tends to get a little bit warped, and I want to make sure to get a nice flat adherence of the paper to the card base. Now I've popped up my sentiment with some foam tape. That's totally optional. You could glue it directly to the card. So there's the finished card. I love the shine. I think it looks so pretty. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so I can continue bringing you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.